earlier this week, big tech behemoth, we can call it, Google, they admitted that the autocomplete search results regarding the assassination attempt of former President Trump, that all of that was prohibited by design. And that was part of the company's policy to prevent search results for what they said were hypothetical political violence against current figures. Well, it's just truly, it's disturbing to see yet another example of big tech interfering in the pivotal upcoming presidential elections. So what can we make of all of this? Well, joining me now to uncover all this big tech interference is Craig Huey. He's the creator of the Huey Report and founder of Election Reform. He's an author. It's an honor to have him. Craig, welcome to Washington Watch. Thank you for coming on.
Jody, it's great to be with you.
Well, it is our privilege to have you. And wow, this is a big deal. We've had a lot of congressional members probing into this. Tell us how this revelation about Google came to light.
Oh my gosh. Well, Elon Musk was one of the first people to bring it to light that when people were doing searches, they were getting searches that almost basically ignored or denied that there was an assassination attempt. And then you had searches where people would be trying to get Donald Trump, and really good stuff about Kamala Harris comes up. And it became such an intense, enormous violation of ethics and honesty that Google had to kind of apologize and kind of say, we're going to correct this. And they came up with their normal excuses. But, here's the problem, Jody. This is not new with Google. Election interference now is on steroids. Every single election, they get better at it. And they are ideologically driven. There's someone who, gets 90% of all searches go through Google. And what happens? Conservative, Christian, libertarian, Republican information, all that which is pro is probably 20 or 30 pages below, at least 10 pages below. Most people, 89% of the people, only will go to page 1. Very few go to page 2 or beyond. And so conservative voices, Christian voices, looking for anything that Family Research has said, anybody looking to see what, let's just say World Magazine or a conservative media has said, you can't find it. But what do you find? You find New York Times, Washington Post, Newsweek. You find all the liberal press. Let me give you an example. If you were right now to go to Trump on student loans, what do you find? CNBC, Washington Post, Democrat.org, USA Today. If you go for Trump on Israel, what do you see? All the liberal press and what they say about it, and it's all negative. And if you go to Harris, all the liberal press saying how great she is. It's a matter of deception.
Wow. Yeah, it is a matter of deception. Totally agree. But it is a matter of election interference.
Yes.
And this is way out of line. What was Google's reasoning for manipulating the results on the assassination attempt of President Trump?
Well, the first thing they said was this was not human error, because it wasn't a human who made that decision. It was a programming, and it goes back to the idea that, they set up algorithms and they use AI to be able to determine something. But here's the thing with AI and the algorithms. It's a human who has programmed it, who has bias. And that's the problem that you have. Google is one of the largest corporations in the world, one of the wealthiest corporations in the world, and one of the most ideologically driven corporations in the world. And with them, they made a pledge in 2016 when Donald Trump won his election. They'd never let this happen again. And that's exactly what they've been doing. So if you're doing Google, if you're doing Gmail, if you're doing Gemini, if you're doing Google News, it's all slanted.
Unbelievable. There's got to be an alternative. If there's not
Yes.
now, there has to be introduced an alternative. Let me, we only got a couple of minutes here left, but can there be an alternative to Google? I mean, as you said, one of the largest companies in the world, so powerful. Can there realistically be an alternative? And what role does Capitol Hill have in all of this?
So I've got good news for you. There has been a court decision that's talking about it being a monopoly. It's undermining it completely. And so they're in panic right now because they are now seeing that their monopoly, especially with their ad sales, may be in danger. But not only that, there's been numerous other things that they have been set back on. But everybody who's viewing this has a choice. They can go to DuckDuck. They can do some other thing, get away from Google. It's still going to be biased, but they can do that. They can get rid of Gmail. If you're in Gmail, they're censoring what you get in the mail. Get rid of Gmail. Don't get Google News. And instead of using Gemini AI, use something else. Jody, here's the good thing. What has happened is Elon Musk is competing with Google. Elon Musk is trying to break the monopoly. And right now, people can start using some of his search products, and he's going to get up, and I believe that he will crush Google. That's my hope, at least provide an alternative. So there is hope. It's free market. It's not some bureaucrat trying to do something. It's not politicians who will do something that will actually be harmful to conservatives and Christians. It is actually the free market at work.
Awesome. Craig Huey from the Huey Report, thank you so much for breaking this down. By the way, I see your books behind you, The Great Deception, Christian Voter. I want to encourage people to check out the books by Craig Huey. He is a great voice. Thank you for joining us today on Washington Watch. Hope to have you back.
Thank you, Jody.